Development Representative here at Stuckey. And first off, I'd like to thank you for joining us today and for your time this Thursday afternoon. It does appear we have a great turnout today, which is great. So before we get started, I just wanted to go through a few things while some attendees are still logging on to the webinar. First, if you'd like to ask a question, please find the Go-To Webinar Control Panel on the right-hand side of your screen. And please feel free to ask any questions, and we'll most certainly do our best to get to your questions during and after the webinar today. Also, we will be sending a follow-up email after the webinar with a link to the recording of the webinar and also a PDF of the PowerPoint presentation and also a product guide as well. So next, I'd like to thank our president, Dwight Stuckey, for joining us, along with Jerry Levin, the program manager who oversees our HarborGuard insurance program here at Stuckey. So thank you both for presenting and also making yourselves available for questions and also the availability and advantages of our product. So a little bit of background about Stuckey Company before we get started. At Stuckey Company, we are an MGA, and we are celebrating our 28th year in the business while offering our independent insurance agents and brokers with innovative insurance programs along with excellent service, which they need to ensure long-term growth and success. And we also offer our agents to access a solid national A-rated carriers such as the Hartford, Safeco, Travelers, MetLife, Chubb, just to name a few. So as of today, the Stuckey Company has 9 specialty insurance programs that we offer to our agents, and we remain dedicated to our growing agency network while serving over 9,000 licensed independent insurance agencies in the continental U.S. And over 200,000 customers and providing excellent service from our unmatched 151 promise. So at Stuckey, we do everything from creating niche specialty insurance programs for our agents. We also manage all areas of the insurance cycle for our agents and their clients' accounts, including the underwriting, rating, program placement. Of course, we do the quoting, binding, and we also issue the policies and provide policy services such as processing endorsements and change requests, including insurance, issuing certificates of insurance. We do the renewal issuance, invoicing and billing, reporting, and some systems integrations, claims handling, marketing, and free product training, such as this webinar today. So by partnering with Stuckey Company, again, we provide our agents with turnkey carrier access with over 60 solid national A-rated carriers. In addition, we assign our agents to a single point of contact for their agency business. As our business development team, including myself, do everything we need to do to help support and assist your agency in any way we can at any time. We have several options for direct carrier access, including subcoding, and this clearly helps provide easy, quick access for quoting, binding, and other policy services, of course. Next, we have options to our multi-carrier rating platforms and other APIs for quoting. Of course, we have our specialty insurance programs that are exclusively for our agents, which includes HarborGuard, of course. We provide consolidation benefits for strategic growth for your agency business with several incentives available. So we certainly provide the source, or we are the source, to help your agencies save money, increase convenience on your book of business. It helps us at Stuckey, and it really helps us distinguish the partnerships we have with our carrier partners, including the Hartford in the marketplace. So this certainly provides better service to your clients. So we also have lead programs, including a co-branded marketing campaign available for our agents. And lastly, again, we provide free insurance educational training such as this webinar today to help our agents understand basically what differentiates us, or differentiates one product, from another. And how carriers define their products. So this helps our agents stay in the loop. Of course, that trickles down to the policyholders. So next, here is a list of 8 of our specialty programs that we offer to our agents. First, we have Safety Tech, our technology E&O insurance program for the technology and IT insurance industry. which includes broader coverage, low minimum premiums, and is very competitively priced for even some of the most complex type services in the technology industry. Next, we have Aspire A&E for architects and engineers, HarborGuard, which is Stuckey's founding program that started 28 years ago, which obviously we'll talk about today, and which handles marinas and boat dealers. We have our miscellaneous professional liability program, which consists of over 300 eligible classes in MPL. We have Element, for the green energy industry. Then, of course, we have our personal lines, which includes markets available for all policy types, including homeowners, personal auto, watercraft, high-value home, and more. And then we have our commercial lines markets, which include BOP, work comp, commercial auto, bonds, just to name a few. And then, of course, we have our surplus lines markets available for our non-standard lines for any risk that falls outside of our underwriting guidelines. All right, so next I'll like to pass the presentation over to our president, Dwight Stuckey, and he'd like to go in further detail about our HarborGuard Marina Program. All right.
Thank you, Tyler. Really appreciate it. And we're super excited about the Marina program. In the past, we've had kind of some fragmented markets. We've had access to Lloyd's facilities and whatnot, most of them surplus lines. But today, actually in October, we signed a semi-exclusive deal with the Hartford, and we have a fully admitted standard lines program available for our agents. So let's dive into it a little bit. So, through this webinar, we want to show you what we mean by the marina business, the coverages that we offer, and then dive into some underwriting, some rules, TIVs, deductibles, and different territories for property, liability, including wind, and the different types of property that we can insure. So again, I want to reiterate, I think it's extremely valuable that we have a A+15 rated carrier, as Jerry calls it, a huge insurance carrier offering this coverage. It's definitely a play that you do not see in the marketplace. We specialize in the marine business. We actually have a publication on our wall down in the conference room, and we issued a publication called the National Marine Publications in March of '91, and we see actually a few of the agents that we started with back in '91 on this webinar today. But we've had it since inception, and it's a program that goes to the heart of what we do. We also recognize the ABYC Marine Technical certification for the repair guys at the marina. So we want to kind of look back at the marine industry as well. We have a specialty application that goes through all our underwriting concerns. So we do try to make the placement of the coverage very easy. We also will accept competitors' apps. We have what's called a 151 promise for endorsement requests and things. A lot of the times, marina submissions and quotes will not fall within the 151 promise. So what 151 promise for the rest of Stuckey Company, it means if it's in by 1, we get it out by 5, in by 5, out by 1 the next day. So a lot of the small commercial quotes are also included, but a lot of the times it'll take a little bit longer because of the size complexity of the risk on the marina program. If we ever decline a piece of business or ask additional questions, we want to make sure that we're as transparent as possible. So we we let you know what we need, and then we will let you know why we need it. If it's a declination, we will let you know exactly why we're declining it, what markets we've gone to. So this is kind of getting into some of the meat of the program. So basically, recreational marine facilities. So some of the things that are listed here as well, and is also on our application. Boat dealers, boat storage and mooring, boat yards, boat repair, boat rental. We do food stores. You know, a lot of the times they'll have like a ship store at the marina. We can write restaurants that are attached to the marina. We can include liquor sales and liquor liability. If they cater or they have a hall, we can also write coverage for that exposure. A lot of the times, campgrounds will be included. You know, they'll have a boat ramp and then a campground right next door. We'll write those. Of course, hotels and motels. We are trying to stay away from very large resorts with just, you know, kind of incidental marine exposure. But we may be able to place that with other facilities as well. Some of the things that we don't like are listed on the right-hand side. So if they're doing like windsurfing, parasailing, bungee jumping, whitewater rafting, you know, there's facilities like that, but they are not eligible under the Hartford product. And we are available nationwide except Alaska and Hawaii in inland lakes, brown water, which are rivers, obviously, and coastal. This is another look at the eligibility. And a few of the things that I see that were not mentioned before, boat lifts. A lot of the times, you know, a marina will have a boat lift. They might have stack storage, boat brokers as well as boat dealers, yacht brokers, and you know, some of the things that they'll have close to or included in the marine exposure, like beach and swimming pool type property. These are kind of some lasered out property guidelines. So marinas, a lot of the times in the Midwest and down south, will have floating property, covered property, stack storage, things like that that are susceptible to wind exposure. And so we are staying out of these areas. Most of the time, we can write the general liability and the marina operator's legal liability, but will not offer property coverage. So those include extreme high or high cat areas. Those include Missouri, Arkansas, Oklahoma, and Kansas. Oh, that was me. That would have been a quick presentation. No Texas coastal at this point, but I think with Hartford, we do have the ability, I think, to write Texas coastal through another facility. And 50 miles from Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, or Texas, the coast in those states. And we will put on a coastal wind deductible of 5%. With a minimum of 50,000 and maximum 250. So this is a little bit that has to do with the total insured values. Honestly, we put these up here. There's not many accounts that we see that go over these values, but additional limits are available. And in fact, we are very competitive. We want to look at the larger risks. So, we've quoted some very large risks, $500,000 in premium and above, but also go down to, premiums as low as $5,000. So, land-based floating, boat rental, workboats, boat dealers, the equipment like forklifts, tractors and things. And we also have an actual loss sustained valuation on the business income. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask them in the go-to webinar control panel over on the right-hand side. If we don't get to them during the webinar, we'll get to them afterwards. We'll either respond by email or give you a call to discuss. These are our core coverages. So, we just talked about the property. We have liability, as you would expect, general liability, garage keepers, marina operators, ship repairs, legal, P&I, liquor, hired and non-owned, and sudden and accidental are a few that we include. Workers' comp, we're very, very close to offering a workers' comp product for this class of business as well. Commercial auto, our guidelines on commercial auto were just changed a little bit. We can have, I think it's up to 100 trips, deliveries within 100 miles. And the maximum of 9 autos, I think, has also been changed. I think that has been increased as well. And there's no umbrella coverage through Hartford, but we do have umbrella facilities that we can use for you. These are the types of watercraft. Basically, if it's under, I think if it's under 65 feet is what they consider recreational marine, we can look at it. The specialty coverage that we see for a marine risk is marina operators, the marine operations liability, marina operators marina operators legal liability, P&I, coverage for owned vessels, miscellaneous property coverage, ship repairs, legal liability, for the care, custody, control coverage for even if they're just repairing boats and not necessarily marina. Some of the things that you don't normally see under, kind of standard retail, wholesale, manufacturing type risks, stack storage, covered slips, uncovered. You see a lot of uncovered up north. A lot of the covered is kind of in the Midwest. Business interruption that we went over a little bit. We can cover the employee tools, and of course we include hired and non-owned auto. So we put together a full application. I think it's a little on the lengthy side. I think there's, I think there's 10 pages on the application. But it does go over all of the operations from restaurants to the ship store, hotels and motels, mooring, special events, whether they use a crane or a lift, and if they offer pump out services and things like that. So this is a URL that goes directly to the Marine Program page at our website. The website also has a workers' comp application that does a good job with identifying whether there's a Longshore and Harbor Workers Act exposure. And then we also have a brochure that you can use to describe the coverages to the customer. So kind of a call to action today. Give us a chance. You know, some of you have been working with us for 20 years on the Marina program, and if this is your first time, give us a shot. Try to quote the HarborGuard program on your next Marina account. We're really looking to expand on the west side of the country, but we also have facilities for the other areas as well. And if you'd like to be included in our micro-targeted lead campaign, we have a couple postcards, a couple letters, and 2 emails that we can send to marina risks in your area. We can also supply you with those leads as well. These are the contacts for Stuckey Company. Specifically, the Marina program is led by Jerry Lovin, and his information is here. His extension is 127, and he's committed to making your life easy. So I see there are a ton of questions coming in. So I'm going to go ahead and maybe, Jerry, if I can ask some of these questions to you. Is our market a USA standard or excess surplus Lloyd's type form?
Well, the Hartford is big and as standard as they get.
Right. So yeah, it's definitely an admitted. They are not ISO forms, but they're Hartford's standard marine, property, and general liability policy forms. Looks like we have some notes from some guys that have been working with us for a long time. I'd like to say hi to Bob Warnell. So if it's a Lloyd's, is the marine policy on a security deposit form having a charge back at expiry? So it is not a Lloyd's form, but I believe, like most policy forms, especially the boat dealer's inventory, it is auditable, I believe, isn't it?
It can depend. It depends on the risk.
Okay. Blue water cover marinas, boat rentals, Florida Keys marinas. So the property coverage is obviously an issue.
Right. We could do the boat rentals as part of an overall marina package, but again, the property there would be an issue. But as long as the general liability, the revenues are generated predominantly by marine, we can pick up some of the, like we mentioned, the cabins and hotel rental, and the boat rental is always can be included in the marina package.
And do you write these coverages, marina, boat dealers, specifically in New York State?
We do.
And I believe that goes with all the coverages, right? Mm-hmm. Property and general liability and stack storage and all that. Does the Hartford offer a brochure that outlines benefits that can be used for marketing? So a few of the things, we do have a brochure. We'll include that in the follow-up email. And we also have all of the forms. So we have the application, the workers' comp app, the brochure. We have some of the postcards and things that we use for the co-branded marketing that we have. And then all the way down to all the policy forms. So you can really kind of, roll up your sleeves and dig deep in it. I'm in Florida, so to be clear, GL coverage only.
Well, marina operators is why all the liability coverages we could handle. It's just no property coverage.
And then, is there a volume commitment to access your products?
There is not.
Yeah, so Stuckey Company, we do not have a fee to do business with us. And we also do not have a minimum production requirement. Each account will be underwritten on its own merit as far as a minimum premium. I think with Marinas, a lot of the times it's $5,000 with Hartford, but some of the other carriers are $2,500 or maybe even lower, right?
Yes.
What about co-insurance on wet property?
The docs will be written on an agreed value basis.
Right. Would you? Let's see here. Would you write general liability for boat dealers who goes to marinas and details and winterizes boats?
I mean, that could be picked up in a policy. I don't think without trouble.
Let's see here. So what about dock coverage? I'm assuming like floating property and covered property.
Yeah, we definitely want the floating property dock coverage. And, you know, the TIV of the docks has been problems for markets in the past. And I think as you saw on one of our slides previously, 20 billion in docks is okay for us. So, and I would venture to guess if you could find one that's got more than 20 million, we would still consider it.
Absolutely. And 20 million, I think, is per coverage, isn't it? Per.
I think they were talking about the total TIV of the docks there.
Oh, okay. And here's is there a maximum thresholds for non-marine operations like campgrounds? We see a lot of hybrid campground marina accounts.
Yeah. Typically, it needs to be, you know, at least 50% of the operation needs to come from marine operations. So, slip rental, boat storage, you know, boat repair, things like that. As long as we are heavier on the marine side, the other aspects, the campgrounds and hotels should be fine.
Let's see here. What lines of coverage does the Hartford write? So I guess some of the things we've gone over, property, general liability, marina operators legal. Well, we're finalizing some workers' comp. They can write bonds. We have a full contract with the Hartford specific to the marine industry. You know, the coverages that we went over today, I think is.
We should be able to include the auto too, as long as you're quoting the package.
We have a lot of people that would like to work on the leads program, so we'll give you a call individually. And restrictions on Kansas and Oklahoma.
Well, right now we are not pursuing business in Kansas and Oklahoma with the Hartford. And again, the program is going to be evolving as time goes on, so we hope that changes.
Yeah, nearly the entire state is high or extremely high in wind zone in the CAT areas. So we will look at any marina, right? We'll look at it and evaluate it, send it up, and discuss it. We'll listen to the story, we'll make a story, and we'll submit it. Those states are already lasered out, but we've looked at others before. So if there's a story to be had, no losses, nice size account, and all that, we'll sure look at it. We were up in New England, inland lakes, docks that are left in water over winter.
Sure, yeah, we would provide coverage for that.
I'm an agent on the Minnesota-Wisconsin border, a lot of marinas around, but I've not pursued the market. I'm very, sorry about that. We would love to pursue it with you. The northern states, the western states, interestingly enough, we're in St. Louis, Missouri, and Missouri, Arkansas, and Kansas or Oklahoma are some of the states that we cannot write in. But
we're really looking to expand our footprint west. So we don't see many obstacles in our way for any business that's west.
And we're already over by just a couple minutes, but and here's a question that is probably a pretty good one to end on. And it's basically, are you going to send a presentation? So we'll send a recording of the presentation. It's a YouTube video. We'll upload it to YouTube and send you the link. We also have the presentation as a PDF. And there are so many other questions. This is really cool to have so much interaction. We will answer every one of these by phone or email. So we will give you a call and kind of dig into it with you. Again, I'd like to thank everyone. Jerry, thank you for coming in and helping. And Tyler, thank you. I appreciate your time, and thank you everybody for attending. We are so excited about the Marina program. Again, I think Tyler mentioned, but we started with only the Marina program 28 years ago, and this is a breathing a new breath of life back into that program, and it is also confirmation that Hartford is super supportive and they're doing everything they can to help us too. So we're really excited to have Hartford on board. So again, thank you everybody for attending.
Get those submissions in early. I would encourage you.
Yep. Okay. Have a great day and happy spring.